Alright guys, today I was planning to make a detailed guide for those starting to play Asphalt Legends Unite since it's been well over 2 months since the game was globally released, but the more I tried to properly prepare a guide, the more I realized how impossible it was to do so. Today I will explain you why and most importantly how I came to the conclusion that as for now, Asphalt Legends Unite is not a welcoming game to anyone trying to start playing it. So let's get into it. Before Asphalt Legends Unite, we have Asphalt 9 Legends, since in case you didn't know, Asphalt Legends Unite is theoretically a game expansion of Asphalt 9 Legends, so in a nutshell, it's the same game, but with a face wash, new UI and that stuff. Many things change with Asphalt Legends Unite, and I know that many of you might be thinking that I'm about to talk about how Asphalt Legends Unite is maybe too expensive, and because of that it's not newcomers friendly, but today I won't be talking about that, even though that's definitely a key factor. With the arrival of Asphalt Legends Unite, a new multiplayer system appeared. On this new multiplayer system there are two main seasons which you can choose to play, an Asphalt version of ranked multiplayers and a more casual approach called Seasonal Series. To put things into perspective, both seasons are terribly wrong for the reasons I'm about to explain, but in a nutshell you need to know, in case that you are a newcomer or someone not quite familiar with the new Asphalt Legends Unite, that the vast majority of rewards you can obtain from any multiplayer mode in this game are concentrated in just one exclusive multiplayer season, the ranked one, aka World Series. Every 2 weeks and within this season 20,000 milestones path, you will find basically most of the tokens, wildcards, credits and card packs that the multiplayer aspect of Asphalt Legends Unite has to offer. By completely ignoring this World Series multiplayer, you are effectively losing the majority of rewards you could obtain by playing literally any multiplayer available on this game, since if you have a look at all the other multiplayer seasons and game modes, barely give a small fraction of what this World Series multiplayer gives in terms of rewards. Okay, but why am I saying this? Why wouldn't someone play this multiplayer season where the vast majority of rewards are? Well, what if I told you that if you are a beginner, you just literally can't, because the way both multiplayer seasons I just mentioned work seems to be specifically designed to not to be beginner friendly. But why is this? Well, in Asphalt 9 Legends we had league-based matchmaking where according to your league you could use the card belonging to a specific class. On the first league, D class, on the next one, C class and so on. But on the new multiplayer system, each league is separated in different tiers, and on each tier you can only play with a specific set of cards. What's the problem? Well, that if you are a beginner, obviously you won't have most of the cards required, and thus you won't be able to go to higher leagues, and thus you won't be able to complete the multiplayer milestones, since the higher your league is, the more points you get every race. As if it wasn't enough, the game will match you against rivals from higher tiers instead of from your own tier, which will have better cards than the one you are using, and you won't be able to do anything to change that, since let's remember you are a beginner and you didn't got the chance to unlock those cards yet. But you can't unlock those better cards faster if you don't reach higher tiers, so at the end you are effectively blocked from normally progressing on the game. Just as the cherry on top, we have the multiplayer pass. Yes, I have mentioned that the majority of multiplayer rewards are within one World Series season, but half of those rewards are locked behind a paywall. This is a 2-week subscription called Multiplayer Pass. For $8 every 2 weeks, you have access to all the milestones rewards instead of half of them you will normally have access to if you are someone not interested on paying for the Multiplayer Pass. But you might be thinking, but hey, if a beginner can't play the main multiplayer season since that player doesn't have the cards, he can play other multiplayer seasons, right? And here comes the best part, in case you didn't have it know yet. There is a rank-based multiplayer on the second biggest multiplayer season, so this means that if you are using a card with 1000 rank points, the game will likely match you with a 1300 rank cards, so in cases like B or A you will face S-class cards that will absolutely destroy you. That, together with the fact that this second season has smaller milestones and half of them are blocked behind of the multiplayer pass, well, you can have an idea of how hard it will be for any beginner to get anything from this. One of the biggest points of unlocking cards in Asphalt Legends Unite was to use them on multiplayer. By removing the chance to effectively use some of the first cards you can unlock as a beginner, you drastically slow down the progression path for those who just downloaded the game. That's why under the current format, Asphalt Legends Unite is just not a game for beginners. Sure, you can try and unlock some cars playing daily events and career as all my previous Asphalt 9 guides recommended to you to do, but completely forget about getting any chance to win on multiplayer, because even if you try the Season Series multiplayer, which is the one with worse rewards, but at the same time the one where newcomers have slightly better chances to win, the truth is that without multiplayer, eventually you will realize that there is not too much to do on this game, and as a beginner, after losing many races because of the broken matchmaking, you will eventually leave the game in order to never come back, and that's twice as bad because an angry or disappointed customer is twice as likely to leave a bad review of the game, as well as to talk badly about the game to other people around their circle, making the effect even worse. The worst part of all of this is that Gameloft doesn't even seem to care about it, because if they did, they would have realized about this far earlier on the development of Asphalt Legends Unite, but it seems like because of the multiple management changes and the speed at which people is replaced in Gameloft Barcelona, at this point I think that there are many errors just to be discovered by the community that will take more than usual to fix, simply because those who knew how to fix these errors left the company long time ago. Quite sad to hear, especially if you have been playing this game for as much as I do, but that's the way things are these days. But guys, at this point I just hope that the game finds some stability and that whoever comes next brings some passion, because otherwise I don't see a bright and clear future to Asphalt Legends Unite. And by the way, did you see that the main problem of this game wasn't the extremely aggressive monetization tactics, but a poorly implemented multiplayer system that favors those who have been playing for years rather than welcoming any potential new players? Also, you can see a continuation of that by looking at how many cars could you unlock if you had unlimited resources and tokens at this exact moment. Have you ever been curious about that? Well, if you were an extremely rich individual and you wanted to see how many cars could you unlock if you started to play at this exact moment, you will only be able to unlock around 130 cars out of a grand total of 260 cars that the game has right now. Quite crazy, I know. And now you don't have to spend a ton of money to find out, because even if you try to do so, you wouldn't be able to get every single car, and let aside the most powerful ones, of course. Honestly, it's a pity, because this game, as many of you might know, has an absolutely crazy potential, which at this point I'm almost sure it will never reach. In the future, we will look back at this video and we will see how the greed and incompetence, among other things, turned what it could have been one of the best racing games ever developed into a wasteland, just like I fear it happened with Asphalt 8 in a way. As usual, you guys know that I would absolutely love to be wrong, but being pessimistic has always been proven to be the most accurate approach when predicting what might happen with this game. But now it's your turn. What do you think about today's topic? Do you think that this game is better than it used to be, and if so, why? Make sure to let me know in the comment section, drop your massive like and subscribe in order to not miss absolutely anything about Asphalt Legends Unite. Goodbye guys!